So 49ers preseason football gets underway on Sunday, and it's going to be a great rivalry game between San Francisco and the Las Vegas Raiders. This matchup on New Year's Day last year, I remember it vividly from our watch party. It was an awesome game that came down to the wire. It's the preseason, so the hype around this matchup not going to be the same as it was last year, late in the regular season with San Francisco jockeying for a playoff spot. Kickoff is set for 4 o'clock Eastern time, 1 o'clock Pacific for those of you on the West Coast, and we're going to be doing a watch party for this matchup. And all throughout this week, we've been having a sub-battle between two of the biggest channels here under the Chat Sports umbrella. Raiders Report closing in on 139,000 subscribers. And of course, the 49ers Report here by Chat Sports, hosted by yours truly, closing in on 83,000 subscribers. I want the Niners to beat the Raiders on the field, but I also want the bragging rights here at the Chat Sports offices. So make sure you lock us in, hit that sub button for year-round and daily coverage of San Francisco. As for what we're covering on today's show, the 49ers released their first depth chart. It was the Niners PR department that released this depth chart, not the coaching staff, but either way, this is the first depth chart, the first look at how this roster is going to be configured potentially. So some key takeaways from what that roster looks like so far. First, though, today's 49ers Report is presented by Roan. Get 20% off your order by using the promo code ChatSports at roan.com/chatsports. I'm wearing their commuter polo right now. Men's closets, they were due for a change, and Roan stepped up to the challenge. Their commuter collection, I'm wearing their commuter polo. It's the most comfortable, breathable, flexible set of products known to man, and here's why. They have clothes for every occasion. Roan helps you get ready for whatever life throws your way. 18 holes of golf, hosting shows here at Chat Sports, date night, hanging out with the homies. The commuter collection, world's most comfortable pants, dress shirts, quarter zips, and polos. You never have to worry about what to wear when you have the Roan commuter collection. I love their stretch technology because the comfortable 4-way stretch fabric provides breathability and flexibility that leaves you free to enjoy whatever life throws your way. From your commute to work to 18 holes of golf. I've been playing a lot of golf throughout this summer, and wearing some Roan shirts allows me to play my best and look good in the process. It's time to feel confident without the hassle, and with Roan's wrinkle release technology, wrinkles disappear as you stretch and wear the products. It's literally that easy. They also have odor-free technology as well. You can swag up your wardrobe with the commuter collection. It's roan.com/chatsports. Promo code chatsports for 20% off your entire order. I'm going to put that link in the comments section and in the description of this video. Summer is winding down. You can look great for summer, but also fall coming up around the corner as well. So the Niners releasing their first depth chart ahead of this preseason opener against Las Vegas. And I have a couple of big takeaways from the first official depth chart or unofficial depth chart, depending on how you want to categorize it. San Francisco's PR department saying it's an unofficial depth chart. Here is the outside look at all of the players on this 90-man roster right now. And my main depth chart takeaway is this. It's QB2 between Trey Lance and Sam Darnold, because San Francisco listing it as such. It's QB2, Trey Lance, or Sam Darnold, with Brock Purdy being the team's number one quarterback. Now, this isn't out of the ordinary. Teams have done this before, but I'll tell you this. We're not sure who's going to start against the Raiders on Sunday. Whoever starts against the Raiders, and then whoever plays the best and performs well throughout the preseason will be QB2 behind Brock Purdy, and they will convince that coaching staff that they are the guy. But right now, it's a pretty even battle, it seems to be, between Trey Lance and Sam Darnold. RB3, another big takeaway and something that kind of stood out here, and this goes along with a lot of things that we've been talking about here on the show, where Ty Davis-Price, great training camp, in really good shape, and Jordan Mason, in better shape than last year, great training camp. They're really neck and neck at this point. Both of these young backs have been performing well. They've been turning heads. They've added pass-catching ability to their arsenal. They're different players. Mason, very physical. He can run in between the tackles, break tackles, pick up yards after contact, and he's a bulldozer. Ty Davis-Price, he's like 230 pounds. He can run in between the tackles with physicality, better balance in my opinion, as compared to Jordan Mason. That's why he was the third-round pick. But here's the difference too. TDP has some of that speed and elusivity to get out to that outside. I'm excited to see both of these players play against the Raiders on Sunday. Do it right now. Let us know down in the comments section. Grade the Niners roster as a whole on a scale from 1 to 100. I know a lot of you like to hop on the sticks, play Madden. Use the Madden scale, for example. At defensive end, because Nick Bosa hasn't signed with this football team and inked that contract extension, he hasn't reported to training camp so far. And because of that, he's not on the Niners depth chart. Drake Jackson and Cleveland Ferrell are the two starters at defensive end. So no Nick Bosa in camp yet. Obviously, when he comes back, he's going to be slotted in at one of the defensive end spots. But who's going to start on the other side of that line of scrimmage? Is it going to be Drake Jackson going into year 2? Is it going to be Cleveland Ferrell, who since getting drafted 4th overall in 2019 has been a bust, but could he be a reclamation project under defensive line coach Chris Kocurek? We will see. The starting offensive line, a little bit of a question mark here as far as the overall talent of this group, but we have a good idea what the starters are going to be and who they're going to be. The first string offensive line from left to right, Trent Williams, best tackle in the game. Aaron Banks, who I have a bold prediction, I think is going to be a Pro Bowler this year. Jake Brendel exceeded a lot of expectations a year ago. Spencer Burford at right guard. The big question mark, and we'll see how Colton McKivitz does this week in these joint practices against the Raiders. Colton McKivitz is going to be going up against Max Crosby all throughout this week. Big test for him, and then week 1 is looming against TJ Watt. As for the backups, Matt Pryor backs up Colton McKivitz. He's not that good, so if McKivitz were to go down, that's a little bit of an issue at a position of importance. And then Jalen Moore backing up Trent Williams, got injured several days ago, but not serious. He had been playing pretty well when Trent Williams was off the field. Starting nickel corner for San Francisco, Isaiah Oliver. Right when San Francisco made this signing, I said, you know this guy without actually knowing it. Why? He intercepted Jimmy Garoppolo last year in that Falcons game that was a blowout. And you remember that game. Lost against the Falcons, lost the following week against the Kansas City Chiefs. San Francisco panicking a little bit. They didn't lose again until the NFC Championship game. Isaiah Oliver is a really good player. He is a very solid nickel cornerback who's going to fulfill the shoes of Jimmy Ward from last year. And I've also said this throughout the entire offseason. I think Isaiah Oliver will be a very underrated signing, a position that gets overshadowed, a player that not many people know about, and he's not signing a deal that's worth all that much money, but he's going to have an impact on this football team given how they play defense and how good of a player he is. He is locked down that starting nickel corner spot. Your starting safeties. Right now, it's free safety Deshaun Gibson and strong safety Talanoa Hufanga. But as we look ahead, is Jair Brown going to have an opportunity here to crack this starting lineup? Had a good OTAs, instinctual player, plays with feel, plays with awareness, and he's really physical and seems to be in the right place at the right time, diagnosing plays before they happen. So could he crack the starting lineup at some point? Maybe, but as of right now, the answer to that is no. Another one of those players that I want to see in action, suited up with the pads and helmet on Sunday against the Raiders. Oren Burks right now is currently the starter alongside Fred Warner and Dre Greenlaw. He's more of a special teams player and a really good special teams player. He came over last free agency period from the Green Bay Packers. I think it's going to be Marcelino McCrary-Ball, but Jalen Graham, D. Winters, both having solid training camps. And then the kicker battle, Jake Moody or Zane Gonzalez. That's how the Niners PR department listed this, and it's the same as that quarterback spot. Now, at that quarterback position, it's going to be Trey Lance. You would imagine. I would be shocked if Sam Darnold unseats him as QB2. I would be shocked, floored, and baffled if Zane Gonzalez wins this competition. I feel as though sometimes this is a matter of giving some of those veterans a little bit of respect, right? Not trying to disrespect them early on. So for Sam Darnold, he's been in the league longer than Trey Lance. We'll give you the Trey Lance or Sam Darnold. And then at kicker, Jake Moody or Zane Gonzalez. Jake Moody has been booting 60-plus yard field goals. He has the bigger leg. You think the Niners aren't going to have a third-round pick at kicker on their 53-man roster? They are going to do that. Zane Gonzalez is not going to be on this team. But a team like the Dallas Cowboys, they just cut Vizcaino, however the hell you say his name, because they continue to run into kicker problems after Brett Maher shit the bed in that playoff game against Tampa Bay. Could you trade Zane Gonzalez to Dallas? San Francisco traded for Zane Gonzalez at the start of this offseason. Something to keep in mind. Couple of rookies that I want to talk about here. Deshaun Jameson and Spencer Wagee. They're buried on this depth chart, but the stock for both players is rising. Jameson, Wagee, what can you do in this preseason opener against the Raiders? Deshaun Jameson has caught the attention of Kyle Shanahan, Brandon Ayuk, Steve Wilks, John Lynch. He's a UDFA out of Texas who has performed extraordinarily well. And then Wagee, a defensive end, defensive tackle, versatile option coming out of North Dakota State, also a UDFA. I think they have legit opportunities to make this 53-man roster. Preseason football is going to determine a lot of these roster battles. And this depth chart right now is not going to be the same as it is at the start of the regular season. A lot of movement to take place, but the first depth chart that we've had an opportunity to see for San Francisco, it's interesting nonetheless. So what's your biggest roster question for the Niners here? I want you to let me know down in the comment section. Some people have asked, is this Chase replying to my comments? It's always me, man. I'm addicted to this stuff. I'm addicted to the grind, and I love to see what you all say, so let me know. Appreciate you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.